What's good, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Golden 83, and I am here to do a heart's desire reading for the sign of Gemini. Okay, Geminis, you are last but not least during the zodiac lineup of Group 2. Hopefully, you guys are doing well. Remember, you guys, these are general messages, not personal. So take what resonates and pass the rest to the next. Okay. So, like I said, you guys, this is finally your heart's desire reading. The readings got out of order primarily because of energy and weather. Okay, in my city. So, sorry it took so long. My apologies, but here we are. Okay, so one from the top for your present energy, one from the bottom for your past energy, and then one energetically from the middle for your future energy. Okay, and then we will look at the bottom of the deck for the overall outcome, okay, of this spread. Okay, so let's see what's going on with you guys, Gemini. All right, so we have the Princess of Cups for your present energy. We then have the Knight of Wands for your past energy. And then we have the Five of Cups for your future energy. Now, Five of Cups is trailing from behind Virgo's reading, which was in their past energy. The Princess of Cups got an honorable mention, I believe, I think it might have been Taurus's reading. It was underneath their overall outcome. Okay, so you got a mixture there. Those were honorable mention signs. You could either have that in your chart or dealing with someone in one of those signs, but you don't have to be. Okay, so this Princess of Cups energy, you have someone here that's kind of holding a cup and kind of hand to the chest, clutching pearls type vibe. Okay, a crescent moon overneath. Oh, not overneath. Sorry, that's a new word. Over her head with a small orb, colorful orb that's kind of like blue, if you will. Okay, maybe a planet kind of orbiting that crescent type moon. Okay, but nonetheless, it feels as though you might end up being taken aback by someone's statements or advances towards you. You might hold back some of your feelings and kind of maybe some light flirting or something of that nature, but presently it feels like just being taken aback and just being very mindful of how you communicate with someone as far as your feelings are concerned. Okay, just primarily in maybe their delivery towards you. Okay, in the past energy, we have this Knight of Wands. Okay, Knight of Wands, fire energy, which is Sagittarius, Aries, and Leo. Okay, honorable mention, you could be dealing with one of those signs. You don't have to be, could be in your chart. Okay, but I feel like this is someone who came towards you, okay, in the past. Okay, Knight of Wands is usually considered some form of a player type energy. Okay, someone, as you can see in this pose, he's kind of holding the wand in a, kind of upright position from the mid thigh up. Okay, always willing to have a fun time. Okay, and so maybe Gemini, you had a lot of that in your past. Okay, something that was fun for the time, but you kind of probably switched on it and kind of improved or evolved from that type of advancements from suitors, if you will. Okay, so laying on the table, it is aimed at the Princess of Cups. So like I said, you may be taken aback by someone's advances if it's very sexually charged, if you will. Okay. So, lastly, future reference is Five of Cups. Okay, like I said, it was in Virgo's reading, but in their past energy. Future energy, Five of Cups gives me the vibe of disappointment. Okay, Three cups down, two up. Okay, now yours is different in the sense of it just feels like full on flat disappointment, in the sense of maybe you expected more out of this situation. Okay, now this could be a past situation or something that you're currently in now. Okay, and kind of disappointed in how this person has came towards you. Okay, because maybe, like I said, you expected a little bit more, or hoped for more, and it turned out to be kind of sour. Okay, maybe you got something good out of it. Maybe, an occasional, friendship, as far as like maybe hanging out or conversation when you're bored type thing. Gemini, I think you guys have a tendency of doing that sometimes, is just dealing with somebody when you're bored. Okay. Don't do that. Okay, don't sacrifice your energy for some timiness. Okay, know your worth. Know that you're worth more than that. Okay, and have people that are around you that are very like-minded as yourself, that help you evolve and grow. Okay, but it does lead to some form of disappointment. Maybe someone came at you with a representation of themselves that was different than what you expected. Okay, so let's look at the overall outcome for this energy, Gemini, and it is the Empress. Okay, you better work, Gemini. Okay, this Empress is the overall outcome, knowing that you are worth more than just a fun time. Okay, Gemini, so please walk that walk and talk that talk. Okay, it is really easy to sit up here and be, attracted to someone physically. Again, I've talked about it in my readings before about relationship pie. I said, and I've said it 1,000 times, that I would do probably a side video in regards to that. But hopefully you have seen that reading, Gemini, or heard me talk about it if you've been on my channel long enough. I truly appreciate it. But talking about the main parts of your relationship pie that mean the most to you. Okay, meaning mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, things that mean the most to you. Take that, it equals out to 100, and divvy out the percentages for each one. Okay, if physical attraction is only 10% to you, but the rest is 40, and maybe 50 in the other areas, then that's the gist of your relationship pie. Okay, meaning maybe mental and financial might be more important to you than emotional and physical. Mental and emotional can eventually lead to physical maybe rising up in your relationship pie, because those three are kind of tied together. Okay, because if you're not interested in someone physically now, you may end up getting your mental and emotional aroused by them, that makes you want to be physical with them, that makes the physical that much greater. Okay, but if your relationship high is mostly geared by physical, then that means visual attributes of a person, such as their body type, their face, their actual appearance, things like that are an actual trigger for you. So if you're sexually charged, and let's say you haven't had sex in a while, so of course someone coming along, saying, hey, you're my type physically, is that all you want out of it? Okay, now also maybe you end up doing some physical things with this person and it ends up being disappointing. And of course, you end up being like this Empress to this person with the best sex ever, but they're trash. And you're disappointed. Now you got this person around you that you don't even want around you no more. And I have been there and done that. Okay. And that was primarily doing it out of spite. And just, I would say, part of my savagery days. Okay. And I was highly disappointed. I was one, disappointed in myself because I allowed myself to stoop to that level. And then, also disappointed in the fact that it was trash, fam. It was just straight trash. And so nothing is worse than being with someone physically and just like they done boosted your head up, oh, you ain't ready for this type shit. And, girl, I'll work you and all this other stuff. And then when you finally get it, it's like, waste of time. So be mindful, Geminis. I talk about it a lot on my channel about transference of energy, that you have to be mindful of who you give your energy to, not just in a mental and emotional state, but also physically as well, okay? Because what's good for them may not have been good for you, okay? And vice versa. So hold it together, okay? And value yourself a lot more than what you fall for, okay? So let's go ahead and get into these clarifiers. So one from the top for the Princess of Cups, one from the bottom for the Knight of Wands, past energy, sorry, and then one energetically from the middle, which is a lot of energy here for future placement, which feels like you guys are probably in the midst of trying to make a decision of whether or not to either deal with this person or keep it moving. Okay, so we'll look at the bottom of the deck to clarify this Empress, okay, in a minute. So let's see what you have, Geminis. You have the Lovers for the Princess of Cups in the present energy. You have the Hermit in the past energy, and then you have the Devil popping up yet again from out of Virgos for future. Okay, so let's start here. I want to start here so bad, but we gonna go here first, okay, with your present energy. Okay, present energy, you have the Lovers, okay, with the Princess of Cups. All right, you have two people standing on either side of this blooming lotus. There's a lot of lotus flowers, angel wings above. I see two pairs of feet going in opposite directions, and like two pairs of hands, almost looking like they're holding up a blooming lotus flower with another underneath it. Okay, and it's a very abstract card. It really, really is. It's hard to really fine tune anything except for, like, as far as trying to focus on one particular thing in this card, because the thing that stands out the most is the lotus flower. Okay. Now, one of my favorite songs is Wale and Miguel's Lotus. So I automatically feel that song when I see this card of the Lovers in the clarifying deck. You're holding, like I said, holding back from, again, this vibe of possible physical contact. Okay, you probably are very attracted to this person physically, but do they offer anything else, such as mental stimulation, emotional stimulation, anything like that? Of course, any new relationship with someone, Gemini, is always exciting as far as the connection is concerned. Again, you have to be mindful of whether or not if this person is giving you a representation of themselves, which is probably something that you're thinking about, and not being full on honest with you. Thus, that disappointment coming up. Okay, so your right now present energy is like, I'm gonna keep it low, which is good. Okay, very proud of you, Geminis, for doing that, and just seeing where this goes. Okay. Like I said, presently you could be thinking of whether or not if you can be more than what you currently are, but it all depends on what this person shows you. Okay, so be very mindful. Keep the energy low. I don't know why I want to say like low blow. Okay. Don't get too ahead of yourselves, Gemini, because I think sometimes you guys have a tendency of doing that when it comes to connections. High hopes sometimes lead to disappointment. It's because you're putting your hopes on this person who is unaware of it. Okay, you're being hopeful that which is nothing wrong with it, but it does lead to a little conflict, like internal conflict, because if they don't meet those expectations, those high hopes of yours, you end up in disappointment. And then you're back to, knowing who you are and what you're worth. Okay. So let's go to this past energy, which is the Hermit with this Knight of Wands. Okay. So possibly in the past, um, this could be the same energy, okay, coming or that you're dealing with, Gemini, in your present, but it doesn't have to. It could be a situation of remembering what you went through in the past and you possibly cut someone off for being this player like energy, okay? Because the Hermit talks about isolation, okay? And so maybe you took a break from dating because it was always leading to something physical with someone. And so you decided, let me just focus on me, walk away for a minute to really figure out what it is that you wanted. Maybe valuing yourself a little bit more, Geminis, than what you used to. Again, we go through those phases, I think, in our lives, especially when we are getting older, okay? Like I turned 40 this year and I know exactly what I want and what I don't want. Okay. I know what I bring to the table and I would like for someone to be reciprocal to the same things that I want. So until that time, I'm not going to say I can say I'm a hermit because I'm not dating. But I know what I want if I were to start dating. Okay. And so if you're in the midst of, like I said, you put yourself in isolation to get away from the players and stuff like that, because you do have to kind of deal with that when you're in a dating world. Okay. People need to understand, and I'm going to try not to go too hard into this, but when you put yourself in the dating world, you have to understand that you're totally skipping the let's be friends first part and expecting someone to be a mate. Okay. That's just my personal opinion. Whether you are on board with it is totally your cup of tea. Okay. But that's just me. Okay. So if you totally skipping the let's be friends part, you're automatically assuming that the person that you're talking to is dating material. Okay. Not friend into a possible mate to date, but just straight be my type automatically. So you're in that process or thinking about getting into that process now, or dealing with someone who either, for some of you, wants to actually date you, but you don't know what that really entails, okay? Or if they will meet your criteria, okay? Because to start, like I said, with most dating, especially on dating apps and stuff like that, somebody says one thing on their profile and then it totally changes from when you meet them in person and it becomes sexual. And it's like, damn, that's not what most of us go on dating sites for, but there is a good few that are like, oh, I just want somebody new to just, lay up with from time to time. And it's like, if that be the case, you on the wrong site. Okay. Like for me personally, I just can't be just giving my body to anybody. Okay. So you have to be mindful of that and lay down those boundaries. Okay. If you are finding yourself in those type of situations. But like I said, for some of you, you could get taken aback because someone comes to you wanting to be a little bit more than what you currently are. Maybe they showed you a version of themselves in the past that made you kind of back away from them. And now it could be a sense of reconnection of some sort. For others of you, it could just be pure, you know, got out of something in the past that was remotely like a player like energy and are starting over now. Okay. But holding back your energy more. Okay. Let's get into this disappointment. Okay. With this devil energy, which is Capricorn energy, like I said, coming up yet again. And I shuffled in setting y'all's reading before I got started. Okay. And both of these cards were in Virgo's reading. Okay. Now, Virgo's reading, if you were to go into that, is more so geared towards more so geared towards career like, not really a relationship. Okay. And so maybe Virgo has Gemini in their chart, and maybe this would be the reading for them to come to in regards to a relationship. If you like Geminis, you could fast forward to get the advice cards, the oracle cards, at the end of Virgo's reading if it is in your chart in a placement that's important to you. Okay. But like I said, I feel like with this future energy of a Five of Cups and the Devil energy is a sense of disappointment, and maybe disappointment in a sense that kind of makes you want to revert back to old ways or doing something that you really don't want to do. Okay, in a negative sense, like the phrase goes, if you can't beat them, join them type vibe. If someone is constantly just hitting you up for sex, and you're like, all right, fine. If that's the only way I can get a relationship out of this person, then I'm going to go ahead and do it. And it's like, don't do that. Okay? If that's not what you want, you should not have to settle for your happiness and what your boundaries are and what your standards are. Okay? And as they say, an idle mind is the devil's playground, but also temptation is also the devil's playground, especially if it's only going to lead to disappointment. Okay, so kind of be mindful in that sense. Okay, because I know it's hard when you're dating and you keep getting a bunch of, as they say, frogs before you get to your prince. Okay, or in my case, I would say king or emperor is the type of vibe I would be looking for if it were me. Okay, because I need someone to match my energy. Okay, and so that's where you need to say it is very hard, Geminis. I'm not going to sit up here and sugarcoat it for you. It is very hard to do that, especially, if you have those little innate animalistic type urges to maybe not all the way have sex, but just to feel, love, to feel PDA, affection, things like that. It's totally normal. You are having a human experience. So, but just don't do it for the wrong reasons. Okay, don't go all the way and get disappointed because, again, like I said earlier, you get brought out of your natural behavior to not be that way, and you change just for the sake of it. Okay, so let's see what's at the bottom of the deck to clarify this Empress card. And we have the Eight of Materials. Okay, the Eight of Materials coming up to clarify this Empress with the Four of Cups underneath. Okay, I feel like this is a message from the universe telling you guys, Gemini, to focus on what is the most important to you. Okay, which is working on yourself to be a better version of yourself than what you were yesterday. Okay, this Eight of Pentacles has all these hands and arms extending out with roses in her hand. Okay, and this Empress is like chilling on a beach. Okay, in the lap of luxury, if you will. Okay, and like I said, you are more than who you are right now. Okay, the Empress is over everything. You are trying to be a boss. You are trying to value yourself a lot more than whatever you did before or even now. Okay, and that is what you should be working towards. Okay, and not only working towards that, but also working towards finding someone who can meet your energy. Okay, start off as friends. Okay, set boundaries of what it is that you truly are trying to acquire within the connection. But really, it's about working on yourself and not reverting back to this past life. Okay, of just dealing with anyone just to be dealing with them because you don't want to be alone. Okay. And I'm not saying that's what you're doing, Geminis, but I do feel that energy. Okay. So just be mindful. Okay. We're going to get into this Heart's Oracle to get some more advice for you guys as far as what's to come or the final decision for you guys. Okay. So we do 3 shuffles and then 3 cuts for your energy, and then we'll go down to the bottom of the deck and refer to the book for additional messages. Cut by 3s here. And let's see what your message is, Gemini. Dreams coming true. Okay, dreams coming true. We have the number 9 here. Number 9 for me talks about a completion of a phase. Okay, we have 2 hands here in the universe with kind of like a whirlpool or cosmic wave in the middle. Okay, so whatever it is that you desire, you know you can achieve it, Geminis, as long as you believe in yourself and control in a light sense of what it is that you want to achieve. So it's all about the choices that you make, okay? And being held accountable for the decisions that you make as well, okay? So let's go into the book and get some extra messages for you guys. Page 113, equaling out to 5, promoting some form of change as well, okay? Change in your mindset, change in your motivation, and what it is that you're trying to accomplish, change in your life, period, as a person, mindset, things of that nature, okay, is what I'm feeling for you guys, Gemini. You do have new vitality also underneath here, okay? So kind of, I don't know why I'm getting kind of like this sense of rebirth of a new you, okay? So your keywords here are contentment, receive, gratitude, and indulgence. This is a card of contentment and wishes being fulfilled. It suggests that you're now entering a time of peace, joy, and satisfaction. Be clear about what you want your relationships to look like, because your wishes may be granted soon. Remember to be open to receiving all that the universe is sending your way and express gratitude when your dreams come true. Then sit back and enjoy. This card is also about feeling good, both emotionally and physically. Engage in activities that bring you pleasure. Take a friend to an upscale restaurant, share a luxury bubble bath with your partner, or enjoy an ice cream cone with a child. Activities that make you happy will tell the universe to send you more joyful abundance. This will aid in your wish fulfillment, so go ahead, indulge yourself, okay? Not in physicality, okay? Now, you do what you do, okay? But be safe when you do it, okay? But again, just don't do it for the sake of things, especially if it's only to advance you in what you think is what you want, okay? I hope that makes sense. So nonetheless, I'm not going to get too much into it because again, your overall outcome is working on yourself, okay? So let's get into the power of surrender for you guys, Gemini. Same thing here, shuffling by 3 and then cutting by 3. I believe for you guys, you know, like I said, making the right decisions, knowing what it is that you want, better for yourself, better than whatever happened or transpired in your past, and kind of being honest with yourself about what it is that you want out of your relationships, as those messages stated, okay, leads you to getting the right thing, okay, and being with the right person, okay. It says surrender negative thinking, okay. Surrender negative thinking, Geminis, okay. You have control over your thoughts. When negative thoughts surface, say thank you for sharing and quickly refocus on positive affirmations, okay. You have control over your thoughts. When negative thoughts surface, say, "Thank you for sharing," and quickly refocus on positive affirmations. Okay? So, whenever you start finding yourself thinking negatively about something, okay, kind of refocus and say a positive affirmation. All right? Now, that could be only specific to a few of you, in the sense of maybe focusing on the negative aspects of what happened in the past, with previous relationships for you. Okay. In that sense, you may want to check out two oils, meditation oils that I have, in regards to flourish as far as healing from anything from your past. That is in reference to self love with strawberry quartz and peony in it. And then I would probably suggest, instead of remembrance, I would suggest the sanctuary oil, which has lapis lazuli and lotus flower in it, in regards to helping with a more positive mindset. Okay. Remembrance has you more so working on your crown chakra. Um, Whereas I would primarily suggest lapis lazuli for kind of like third eye, kind of being a little bit more aware of your thoughts. And as it's stated in that card, protecting you against negative thoughts. Okay, so check it out in my Etsy shop. The link will be in the description box below or on my About Me page. Okay, so with that being said, Geminis, that's really all that I have for you guys. I feel like I went a little bit over for you, but there were some lessons or messages that needed to be shared from my personal experience that hopefully helps yours. Okay, so Gemini, until next time, peace.